Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Channel Dad Bryon Lape Reads on the fitness side. So we've had several new subscribers come along this last week or so. I know I got into a crazy train where was doing 4 videos a day. I couldn't keep that up, and it didn't help anyway. But some people were asking, hey, you haven't done any fitness-oriented stuff, and then I'm working on an update for Sweden and some other things. I know that's popular. I'm working on one for that. But I saw this today. I think it's Dana. I think it's how she says her name, Santos. She's a yoga. She does like yoga, personal training, and some other things. I believe her husband works for the Philadelphia Phillies, or I don't know if he's a ball player, or I think he's a strength and conditioning coach, something, or had been a ball player. I don't know. But I came across this. There's so many people like myself who are working from home these days, and who knows when we're going to be allowed to go back into the office. When things are going to open up. I mean, every day I see more and more businesses closing, and it's really getting frustrating. But this is very important. And even when you go back to the office, for those of you who work in an office, this is something to bear in mind. So I saw this is on CNN Health, 5 exercise to offset too much sitting. And this is just things to do during the day. Just a few times, maybe between meetings. If you're working from home, maybe, hey, if you're like me and you got dogs and go let the dogs out, you can do this for a few minutes, or you're making something to eat or whatever. It's another day of self-isolation, which means potentially another day of sitting indoors restlessly, taking yet another Zoom meeting. And I know I've had already too many today. Prolonged sitting is an unavoidable reality for many. And I don't remember if anyone remember, they were claiming, I guess a few years ago, that sitting is the new smoking. Various studies and things like that, with lots of us spending more and more time inside as the pandemic continues. It's inevitable that we're spending even more time being sedentary. The irony is that we're staying at home to protect our health, but all that added sitting is putting your health at risk. Absolutely. So let's get to the meat and potatoes, and I will put a link to this article in the description for those who want to go through all of the pieces and really grind it out. I did look on YouTube. She does have a bunch of videos on stretches and all that kind of stuff on YouTube, so I'll put a link to her channel as well. The poor posture problem, and this I've noticed a lot of computer nerds like myself, and I'm fairly tall, so having desks that are shorter is just par for the course. Poor posture is the most recognizable, tangible problem associated with too much sitting. Many of us know all too well how our sitting posture contributes to neck back pain. Absolutely. Simple passive stretches like standing and raising your arms overhead can provide immediate relief of tension and help break up long bouts of sitting, but they don't create long-term posture changes. Now, also doing some weight resistance training will help with this too, but only exercise that addresses the muscular dysfunction with sitting posture will strengthen weaker muscles and inhibit overactive ones. So, and that's the thing too. Sometimes it's a strength imbalance where one side is much stronger, pulling you in the wrong direction. Most common posture, I'm popping my piece, issues associated with sitting are upper cross syndrome and lower cross syndrome. Upper cross syndrome is characterized by slumping shoulders due to a dysfunctional combination of over and underactive muscles. Yep. Chest is too strong. Back muscles suck. Lower cross means it goes hand in hand with the upper body counterpart, creates issues of tension and weakness in your back and your core. Yeah, your back is the lower back. This is the kind of the other way around many times. Your core sucks, but your lower back's okay. But your lower back takes the brunt of it, and you think your back's weak, and you just keep working out your back. When it's your core, it's a problem. This is where planking can be really helpful. So try this couch workout. So this is a related article. There you go. No more aches and pains. Practice the 3 stretches. The first 3 stretches. God bless, and mobilize exercise throughout your day to, again, start your day, take a break 2 hours in, do it again, take a break, make it up. Do the last 2 stretching and mobile exercises daily to make lasting positive changes. So here we go. Supporting. So these are the stretches, I guess. Support and consult your physician. Absolutely supported warrior, one with hip flexor release. So, and it's obviously with pictures, it's hard to say. So I imagine you can find all of these on video somewhere as well. This move stretches your tight hip flexors and compresses side waist muscles from too much sitting. Okay, and compress. So basically, as you lean over, you're going to get a little bit of a stretch in your lat, depending on how much you move your arm. But really, the hip is in the side here is what we're focusing on. So her hip bone's probably right about there. And you're going to do it on one side and you're going to do it on the other. So, and again, it says exhale as you side bend. This is the other thing too with stretching. People tend to forget. Don't just hold it for a few seconds, but exhale slowly. and then, breathe as you change position, because you just got to do it for a few seconds. Hold for 3 long, deep breaths. Repeat on each side. Oh, there you go. So that's probably about 7 or 8 seconds. One arm door frame stretch. Now this is pretty weird. And I do this kind of thing also when I'm doing bench press. I use the side of the cage. This stretch provides relief and tension in your chest muscles in the front of your shoulders that come from slumping. Yep. Standing and facing a doorway, place a forearm on the door frame with your elbow bent at 90 degrees at shoulder height. As you can almost see here, it's hard to see. It's almost like what I do is I put my shoulder there and I like halfway step through. Your upper arm should be parallel with the floor. Rotate your body away from your arm until you feel a stretch in front of your chest, holding for 3 long breaths. And supported windmill twist. Okay, so we're going to go up, and part of its support is because you don't want to lose your balance. So you twist your arm up and down, up and down. This exercise releases the upper body rigidity caused by static sitting position. A posture, the twisted motion coordinated with your breathing. And this is one of those things, I've seen people do variants of this with weights. Be very careful with that, because that twisting motion, you're just trying to stretch, so you're kind of twisting up. But when you add weights, it's very easy to do it wrong and injure yourself, and it doesn't take much weight. It is amazing. I don't care if you're, bench pressing 350 pounds and squatting 700. You can do one wrong thing with a twist, especially when you got your back. Now, this is shoulders in particular if you twist your hips. Standing and facing a desk at your counter. So this is how items. Yeah, this is how you use household items. I actually have shown people this. This is really good delt workout. And where is it? Facing the desk counter, sit back slightly into a shallow squat position, then hinge from your hips to bend over and place your forearm down on the desk. Okay, so this is you're holding yourself, keeping your knees bent, and lower back neutral. Inhale as you reach your right arm forward and rotate your shoulder, mid-back, and rib cage. Twist open to the right. Reaching for your hand upward. Hold for 3 breaths. So again, this is you move up. This is an emotion thing. You move up and hold, and you just kind of getting your blood flowing a little bit. Wall angels. This is the one that I have a lot of problem with, just finding enough wall space, because I think if you lean back slightly, if I remember correctly. Also known as scapular shoulder blade wall slides, work together your back muscles to counteract the overactive muscles in front of your body. Stand with your back against the wall, keeping your feet hip distance apart, about 6 to 8 inches, from the wall. Your feet hip distance. Wait a minute. Keeping your feet hip distance about 6 to. Okay, I guess feet hip. Okay, that's what they're saying. About 6 to 8 inches from the wall. Bend your knees slightly to use leverage from your legs and core to push your entire back into the wall with the lower back as flat as possible. Yep. Rest the back on and raising your arms up to shoulder height, bending your elbows to 90 degrees with your shoulders, elbows, and backs of your hands against the wall. Inhale as you slide your hands and elbows up the wall until you start to feel it's difficult to maintain your positive points, your touch points on your back. So you move your elbows and hands up. Repeat this motion about 5 long, deep breaths with each exhale. Concentrate on moving your lower back and your lower ribs in, back, and down, while also pulling the base of your shoulder blades down. Wait a minute. Concentrate on moving your lower ribs in. Okay, because you want to really inhale, get that diaphragm moving. A lot of this too, the breathing is going to be very helpful to help get more oxygen and really get your brain re-engaged, get your system going. So the breathing bridge, this position, breathing exercise strengthens your diaphragm, core, and glutes while releasing your hip flexors. This is why you have a block in between your legs to help you with your hip flexors. This is a starting position of all my athletes to use their training, their breathing, to set their posture. Begin on your back with your knees bent and on the floor, hip distance apart. Place a yoga block, a foam roller, or rolled towel between your legs and engage your inner thighs and avoid your hips and external rotating and knees splaying out. So you keep your knees together. Place your hands on your lower ribs so you can feel them moving in and out. And your diaphragm is about where she's got her hands, maybe a little bit lower depending on where you are. And your diaphragm and your lungs move. They move together, but they move counterly. So when your diaphragm expands, your lungs collapse, and when your lungs expand, your diaphragm collapses. So this is when you push, it's like you push out. You want to avoid upward movement. I read that. Exhale fully, drawing your lower ribs in toward each other, feeling your core, because basically why they say lower ribs, basically where she has her hands, you're trying to make that squeeze in. And when you do that, you're going to breathe and your chest will rise. And that lower part comes in. At the end of the exhale, without breathing in yet, tuck your tailbone, flattening your lower back and lifting your hips approximately 3 to 4 inches off the ground. Avoid arching your lower back. That's very important. Maintaining the bridge posture. I do see a lot of people arching their back. Just keep your hips lower. You don't have to arch your back. So you can see how from her knees down her quads to her hip, it kind of goes down. If she was arching her lower back, her hips would be up a bit more, and this would be, well, it'd still be going down, but it'd be a much flatter angle where she's got a pretty good angle there. Lower leg is pretty straight, and then feet flat on the floor. Wearing shoes may help, and she's also using a yoga mat, which also help get traction. Hold this position using the strength of your core and glutes, taking 5 long breaths. Adding these. So there we go. I repeat for a set of 2 sets of 5 breaths. So there we go. This is the end of the article. So check it out. This is, I'm going to say, Dana or Donna. I think it's Dana, is certified strength and conditioning specialist, registered yoga trainer, and mind and body coach, known as, and the mobility maker is what her YouTube channel has on it. And so, and like I said, I'll put a link to her YouTube channel and this article. So check it out and use these, man. Get up, walk around. Don't just stay sitting all day long. And when you walk around, you can, rotate your shoulders. Depending on how much room you got, you might be able to stretch out, maybe bend over, touch your toes or something, or just do something to get everything going again. I know people that'll do like 10 jumping jacks just to get their blood flowing and get everything pumping again and get some energy going. So there you go. Thank you very much for stopping by. Thanks so much for subscribing and sharing, and I appreciate it very much. I finally, channel's growing, slow, but hey, it's growing, and that's great. Thank you, and we will see you. Goodbye. All right, is that good? Wait a minute. What's the pickup? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, maybe a little bit louder so I don't talk too loud. All right, 3. Up. Yeah, I know. 3, 2, 1.